The Washington Commanders offense for the first time this season, led by quarterback Sam Howell and offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, showed consistency after that victory over the New England Patriots. Can they keep the ball rolling and get the Washington Commanders back in the playoff chase? Let's talk about it.
Off field. Left. What I want.
Get back slow. I love the way she rock it. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she pop her hips, the shawty is a winner. You can tell that shawty's over getting out. She's confident. I love the way she move it.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti coming on here with yet another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about Washington Commanders offense showing consistency, and can they continue to build on that moving forward. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and as always, like this video, and let's get straight into today's video. So the Washington Commanders offense, to me, is coming off of their best game as a whole unit, especially offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, who called a really good game. Now, I know the stats aren't going to show it, the scoreboard isn't going to show it because we won 20-17, but this was the best game Eric Bieniemy called, and I said that immediately following my following the game on the post-game show, Command Extra. Y'all can call into it. Y'all see the numbers all the way up there, so don't hesitate to call into the show at any time. Anytime some breaking news come out, call that number to be featured in the video. But I said that immediately following the game. I'm like, I was impressed. I mean, he finally mixed in a good dose of the running game. He finally, called a nice quick pass game, getting a couple good screens going on. He looked good. He looked dialed in. And the big thing about it is, if this is what we can get from Eric Bieniemy moving forward, I think I would be comfortable with him being my head coach. Early on, and yeah, I'm a diehard fan, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, so I'm going to be I'm going to be, have emotions when it comes to this team. Early on, Eric Bieniemy was kind of rubbing me the wrong way, giving me Scott Turner vibes. I clearly know he's light years better than Scott Turner, but it seemed like all he wanted to do was pass. Now, I'm not saying by a long shot that's not his mindset anymore at all, because clearly he still wants to come out pass, and I don't want y'all to get my words misconstrued. I don't have a problem with being a pass-first offense. In fact, that's what I would like, but I'm just saying, your 23-year-old quarterback, 50-plus dropbacks a game, or nearly 50-plus dropbacks a game, is not going to always be successful. You need to find a way to have some type of balance to take the stress off of your young quarterback's shoulders, and also get your running game involved, because you have two good backs. It's not like Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson are bums. They're two good backs that are capable of getting both 100-yard games, on the stat sheet. Yeah, I know Brian Robinson came, he had a fumble last Sunday, but the good thing about it, I loved how Eric Bieniemy went immediately right back to him. After we got the ball back, after we fumbled, he immediately gave the ball right back to Brian Robinson. Typically we would bench Antonio Gibson and we would just not see him until, probably late into the game, or maybe not even for the rest of the game. He went immediately back to Brian Robinson, opposing to just benching him. And I love that he showed confidence in him, and that allowed Brian Robinson, to continue to get back, and he ended up scoring a touchdown. So yeah, Brian Robinson's fine. And I also liked how we featured everybody. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I thought Terry McLaurin was gonna have like this magical season. Like, I thought he was gonna be like 1,400 yard season. May not be the case, but at the same time, as long as Terry's a 1,000-yard receiver, I'm fine with that. But at the same time, along with Terry not being, the vocal point, which I take back. I think he is the vocal point, but we just got so many weapons that we're spreading it around. I believe what we're doing now is amazing. Like, we're getting everybody involved, and I love this wide receiving core as a whole. I made a quick short about that. Like, not just the top three dogs in Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel when healthy, and Jahan Dawson. I love everybody. I'm talking Terry, I'm talking Jahan, I'm talking Curtis. I know Dayami's struggling, but he's cool. He's a good special teams guy. He's cool. He can get replaced if we want to, but I'm going to throw him in here too because he's still on the team, and he still has some good catches. I know he dropped a touchdown, but he had some good catches in that game too. too. So Bieniemy has some type of talent. Then you got Jamison Crowder. How about the, the veteran guy coming in? People didn't think much about the signing, really. Thought he was just going to be a special teams guy, but since Curtis Samuel went down, he showed up. Not only did he show up in that Eagles game, but he showed up last week too with some good catches. And how about Byron Pringle? Byron Pringle showing up big last week. Deep ball is a little bit sketchy when it comes to these receivers. I don't know if it's Sam Howell overthrowing them slightly. I don't know if they're just not fast enough. I don't know if they just don't have good deep ball tracking. I don't know what it is, but it seems like the only thing that I could say we struggle with and we need to get more consistent with is the deep shots we take, because we're getting opportunities. We just got to hit on them. But I like everybody in this receiving core. I mean, I would love to keep Curtis Samuel, but he may be a little bit too expensive. And we may be able to move on from him and draft his replacement, this upcoming year, or maybe give Mitchell Tinsley an opportunity. Honestly, at this point, I would probably give Mitchell Tinsley his opportunity opposed to Bieniemy Brown, because Bieniemy, you can't crowd for an opportunity and then drop a time. That was a beautiful dime from Sam Howell that he just dropped. Like 20-17 was the final score, but we really should have blew these boys out, if I'm being honest with you. Sam Howell threw for 300+ yards, and we dominated them. Should have scored 30+ points, but you cannot struggle in the red zone, which we typically don't, which was a little bit surprising. But when you have 2 turnovers, that stops drives. We had the pick by Sam Howell in the red zone, and then we had the fumble by Brian Robinson that could have led to some points later on to that drive. So you cannot struggle when you get into the red zone, but I don't have no problem with us doing that. I think as far as like getting right, I think we're gonna be good, because we're typically good in the red zone. So I have no worries about that. The running game, like I said, was percolating. The quick pass game, the cute little screen to Antonio Gibson. Now we did have a screen that we threw to John Bates that I really didn't like. It's not that I didn't like the play. It's more so who caught it. Why can't we get Cole Turner on the field? Why are we struggling to get Cole Turner on the field? He had quote-unquote 4 snaps. Do y'all remember seeing him for them 4 snaps? I don't at all. So we need to find a way to get Cole Turner on the field. You know what I'm saying? I think he is probably the most athletic tight end that we have at the moment, obviously with Amani Rodgers being out. So we need to find a way to give him the ball. You know what I'm saying? John Bates had a touchdown. Sam Howell overshadowed him. You can't miss that, Sam. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. The deep accuracy is the issue. You know what I'm saying? We are getting opportunities. EB is drawing this up. Okay, we just got to hit. But back to the top, back to Eric Bieniemy before we switch to Sam Howell. This is the offensive video, by the way, and we're going to talk about a player that the Washington Commanders also signed at the end of the video too. But this is an offensive video to give the offense some shine, because for the second straight week, they have performed very, very well. And again, like I said, Eric Bieniemy is the catapult for that, him and Sam Howell. If this is what we're going to get moving forward, I have no doubt in my mind that this team can make the playoffs. I have no doubt in my mind. Obviously, you got to be consistent in the red zone. You cannot go 1 for 4, 1 for 3 in the red zone, or 0 for 3, 0 for 4. One of them we did terrible this past week versus the Patriots. You cannot do that versus Seattle. Okay, Seattle is a good team. I know they're coming off a terrible loss and a butt whooping, so they're gonna be fiending to get right back right. So we cannot go bad in the red zone this time. But as far as the whole offensive scheme, I loved it. I love this new revamped offensive line, the switches that we made. I love Tyler Lawson in the lineup at center. I love Chris Paul, who was really, really good in that final Cowboys game, and him and Sadiq Charles had the battle all summer long, and Sadiq Charles won it. And I don't really have an issue with Sadiq. The thing is with Sadiq is he's small, so we may move on from Sadiq Charles, but I wouldn't mind bringing him back as a backup. But I don't know if he can be a starter because his health, his injuries, he's always finding a way to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? The talent isn't the issue, he's just hurt. And Chris Paul has stepped in for Sadiq Charles and has really looked good. And if he continues this up, I don't see no way you can go back to Sadiq Charles. I really don't. Chris Paul has been amazing. I think Chris Paul has been what we're missing. Big, stout guy, not no small, frail, malnourished lineman. You know what I'm saying? The same with Nick Gates. Like, Nick Gates was pretty bad. We got Tyler Lawson up in there, and he seems to be able to set the protection, set the line straight. I mean, it starts with the center, and you see the veteran presence that Tyler Lawson brings. Man, he's been good. I pray to God all these guys stay healthy, especially Tyler Lawson, because we need him. We know what happens when Tyler Lawson goes down, so we need Tyler Lawson and these boys up front to stay healthy. The revamped offensive line has been good. I think even Andrew Wiley. I mean, I know Andrew Wiley gave up the sack versus Hassan Reddick, but I put that on Eric Bieniemy, honestly, because you cannot have one-on-one with your with their best pass rusher and our worst offensive lineman as far as pass protection goes. You got to scheme a double team or something. But other than that, before in that game, he didn't give up no pressures, no sacks, no nothing. So we've been good at the offensive line. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they still decide to move on from him and put Cornelius Lucas in there for right now. But hey, I'm fine with Wiley at the moment until he messes up again, right? But even the offensive line has been good. Getting the playmakers the ball. Jahan Dawson finally back. He did have a drop though. He did have some drops in that game versus the Patriots, where it's like, come on, Jahan, but he had a real good touchdown where Sam put it right there on the money for a touchdown. And then last but not least, Sam Howell, man, I had to save him for last because I mean the guy has been amazing. If you're still on the fence about Sam Howell being the starting quarterback, I really don't know what you're saying. I really don't. The guy is literally good. Like trust me, man. He is good. He is the guy that we can move forward with. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to tank for Caleb Williams. We don't have to try to get Drake May or Bo Nick. We have our guy. He makes every throw. He's a guy that is learning each and every day to not make the big mistake. And he did make a mistake, this past Sunday, but that's going to happen still. He's 23 years old. He's not going to be clean. He's a guy that's learning to protect himself, a guy that is learning how to, get the ball out of his hands quicker and avoiding sacks. A guy that's just constantly getting better. And how can you not be excited for what he can be moving forward? He's second in pass. Probably one of the final tests for Sam Howell. I don't know if the audio went out. If it did, I apologize. Basically, what I was saying was Sam Howell has been looking really, really sharp. And this past week was one of the almost final tests for Sam Howell. One, can you consistently build on a performance, and can you get past the Patriots defense that's really good, led by one of the best, if not the best, head coach of all time, and Bill Belichick. You go to Seattle now. You're turning the page on them. This is a really good defense too. Not to scare anybody, but this is gonna be a true test for this offensive line. How good is this new offensive line, or this changed offensive line? Because this is the same Seahawks team that got 11 sacks. Now, granted, it was against the Giants, but we don't have the best offensive line either. So how is this new changed offensive line going to look against a Seahawks team that can get after the quarterback? They have some solid pieces in the secondary: Devin Witherspoon, Tariq Woolen, Jamal Adams, and they traded for Leonard Williams. So they have a really solid defense, and I'm excited to see what this not only offensive line can do, but what can these playmakers do? Can we continue to look good? Can we go to Seattle and actually steal one on the road and beat a real good Seattle Seahawks team? They have been struggling as of late, but again, this is a team that typically is a get-right game for other teams. So can we change that narrative and we go to Seattle and we beat them? Can we do that? I think we can, and I think we're in good hands. Just consistency. This team at the moment offensively is looking to build consistency, and for the second straight week they did. Can they make it 3 this weekend? I'm hoping so, and I believe so. I think this offense is going to be fine, and we're going to continue to build on some success. Now, to close out the video, the Washington Commanders have made a roster move. They have signed guard Julian Good-Jones from the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad. He's a guard, and we placed center Ricky Stromberg on injured reserve, among other roster moves. They re-signed, Jonathan Williams. So a couple of roster moves that the Washington Commanders have made. Not nothing too major. Just put Ricky Stromberg on IR. I kind of thought they would have did that. I don't know what they were necessarily waiting for, because he was on crutches a couple days ago. So I'm like, he's clearly not going to be playing anytime soon. So I was wondering what took them so long to put him on IR. But they got Julian Good-Love. Don't know too much about him, but just some more guard depth. Obviously losing Stromberg, you're losing him in 2 positions, center and guard, so you had to go out and make a move. at the guard position because you're without Sadiq Charles too. So now that I think about it, you're down Stromberg and Sadiq. This is probably gonna be your well, you got yeah. Ooh, I was just about to bring up Braden Daniels, and I forgot Braden Daniels didn't even make the roster. So, is this your backup guard now that I think about it? Is he gonna immediately have to come in and be activated right away because you're down Sadiq Charles, who was on IR? You just placed Ricky Stromberg on IR because of his injury. So, is Julian Good Love coming right in to the team and going to be activated this week? And that's going to be something interesting that we have to pay close attention to throughout the week, because that could not bode well for this team. So that just put emphasis on us needing to stay healthy that much more. At the guard position, you obviously still got the two starters in Sam Cosmi and Chris Paul at the moment, but behind those guys, it's a little thin. I mean, you still got Nick Gates who can play center and guard, but what about behind that? You know what I'm saying? So maybe this new guy has to come right in immediately, and he may have to be suited up game day, to be honest with you, with the injuries to the offensive line. But other than that, man, we've been good. Oh, you still got Trent Scott. He's a tackle, though. I don't know if he can be you can play guard too, but you gotta potentially suit up this new guy. So we'll see, and pray to God that we don't see him, honestly speaking. So with that being said, man, I just want to come over here to talk about the offensive line and give them their flowers. They've been good. Sam Howell, Eric Bieniemy has been good, and can we consistently see this now? Can we not have an off game for the rest of the year? Can we consistently see this from Eric Bieniemy? The balance. I love the balance this week. And again, I'm not trying to neuter Eric Bieniemy, not trying to tell him not to be a pass-heavy guy, but just replicate this. If you can replicate what you did this past Sunday, I mean, under the center runs, he did not really have a lot of out of the gun runs that pissed me off. You know what I'm saying? He did a nice dose of under center runs. We saw a little bit of Alex Alma in there. Like, this was real good from Eric Bieniemy. If you guys haven't had a chance to rewatch the game or even the highlights, I'll say do you a favor, because you were going to be impressed by the offense. I think so. But what says you out there? Leave it down below in the comment section with your thoughts on this video and the Washington Commanders offense's performance as of late. And do you think that they can be consistent moving forward? So as always, it's me, your boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. You have a blessed one. See you later. Peace.